Welcome to Remotely Interested, the podcast where we talk remote working, work life in general, and top tips to successfully work from anywhere. Today we'll hear from BRIGITTE KOOTSTRA. BRIGITTE has over 30 years' experience working in purchasing, business development, and key account management across Africa, Asia, and Europe. Today, living in the Netherlands, BRIGITTE puts her experience to good use, working in a hybrid role within the automation, machinery and manufacturing industry. BRIGITTE, welcome to the Remotely Interested podcast.
Thank you.
Hey, nice to see you. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. And you?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. Really happy to see you today. And thank you very much for accepting to be on the podcast. I'm really looking forward to our conversation to learn a bit more. So to begin, can you tell our listeners what kind of work you do and when and how that work first became remote or hybrid?
The work I do, or I did. In fact, I work with a company called Rockwell Automation.
Okay.
And just to be accurate, Rockwell Automation, it's a global technology company that provides industrial automation and information solution to a wide range of industry.
Okay.
They also manufacture software and provide industrial control components. So my role with Rockwell is to provide service and to support the life cycle service by taking part of the administration part for them.
Okay, sounds very interesting.
It is, because this is the first time I'm doing this type of job.
There's something new.
Yeah, it is something new, because in fact, before I worked at Rockwell, I was doing the other part of the job, which was account managing. So somebody was doing my current job. Now I'm doing that job as well.
Okay.
So it's new, but I like it. And yeah, at Rockwell, what I do most of the time, because I work for a French department within an international company, so I will be in contact with my colleague in France, and therefore I will take care of all the requests concerning lifecycle service, and then I will provide quotes, make sure the client receive also that they make the payment and enter the services, and allow the engineer to have whatever they need in order to go on site.
Okay, wow. So a lot of different tasks there. You're having
Exactly.
to be quite adaptable in what you offer. You've seen the business from different perspectives. You've had different
Absolutely.
roles
Indeed.
looking from different directions. Oh, that's really good. How long
Indeed.
have you been there, Brigitte?
This is my third year with Rockwell.
Okay.
Yeah. And before that, I worked for an American company in the printing business, and I worked 12 years there. There, I was more outside. I was account manager, so you're often visiting clients, traveling a lot.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so very much in-person kind of role. You were
Yeah, more or less. But yet, I was, in fact, working partially from home, although I had my client outside of the country, because I was representing the company in Africa. So I had the whole continent.
Yeah.
And from home, I will reach out to my client and then arrange traveling visits, and also go to the office time to time to show my
Okay.
face.
So a very international dynamic then, because
Yes.
our listeners won't necessarily know you are currently based in Holland,
Yeah.
but you were covering Africa.
Africa. Yeah.
Yeah, using the fact that you speak French as well.
Yeah.
So a real international dynamic
Yeah.
made possible by the fact that you were working remotely, I guess.
Absolutely. And I love it. I
Yeah.
really love, yeah. Because it gives, I don't know, working remotely. In fact, I started with the American company, I was a single mother. I had two young kids, and I love my job. I wanted to be able to do it at the same time, be closer to the kids.
Yeah,
So working from home was ideal because then I can be there when they will come back from school. And in case we have these 5 minutes at school, I can jump in. And I can
yeah,
also arrange for someone to look after the kids if I were to travel. So I have more time to arrange things.
yeah.
Oh,
Amazing. So that offered you a flexibility that wouldn't have been possible if you
at work.
weren't working remotely. Yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely.
excellent.
Yeah.
So this is some time ago then.
Yeah, that was in fact when I started, I found so um invigorating because you you go out there to look for a job because you want to give something to a company, but you are often restrained by traveling time, or when you're at work, you don't give 100% because you socialize with your colleagues, coffee time this, and this person come for a chat. And at the end of the day, it was nice to go to the office because you met everybody, but you have to go back home to do your work. So,
All the work that you haven't managed to do during the day.
exactly,
Oh, that's funny.
exactly.
A lot of the conversations I've been having recently, we've all been quite honest about that,
Yeah,
that often working from home we can be more effective because there are fewer
absolutely.
distractions. Yeah,
Yeah.
it can't be
Hmm.
denied. And the
Yeah.
distractions can be nice, they can be pleasant. It's nice to get to know our colleagues, but
Hmm.
it's about finding that balance, isn't it? Not wasting
That's true.
time and then
Hmm.
difficult situation to then have to be taking the work home, which
Yeah.
certainly isn't ideal.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so
That's
can you cast your mind back, Brigitte,
hmm
to roughly how many years ago you first worked remotely?
In fact, I started in 2007.
Okay,
Yeah, because in
amazing.
2007, I was working with DHL, and my youngest son had an infectious disease, so he couldn't go to school because yeah, he has to be in quarantine. And then I stayed with him. I had a manager that was very comprehensive, and then he said, "You know what? I'm going to bring the work to you, and then you can still work from home if that's okay with you." And then why not? So we tried, and then I liked it. I liked it so much. And he also, I believe that he also saw that I was more efficient because I was around my kids. So we made an arrangement later on that I was to work 3 days from home and 2 days in the office and to see how it goes. So, and it worked very well. And therefore, when I changed job, I went to work for the other company, Xante. I right away asked to work partially from home, hybrid. And that was also something that was approved. And I don't recall the company ever complain that I did not do my job because they could see that although I worked from home, I was more efficient because I think I was the one that last long in that company. My other colleague who was supposed to work in the office under supervision, yeah, it was not as rewarding for them. So
That is incredible. I mean, 2007, we're
yeah,
getting on for 20 years.
yep,
So your employer really had an insight that many only really began to have during COVID.
yeah, yeah,
And that's very kind of your employer to think of your
yeah,
circumstances and arrange
yeah.
things in a way that meant that you could
Uh,
continue to give to the job that you enjoyed, but just
I also
under different circumstances.
back then I also had a leverage.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. Maybe we'll talk about that off camera. Yeah.
Yeah, but to be honest, I really appreciate that they were able to allow me to work from home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Excellent.
yeah.
So you've had a lot of experience before working remotely, and then since
Yeah.
2007 working remotely, hybrid.
Mhm.
So, in that time, what would you say have been the benefits? You've talked a little bit about it already,
Yeah,
but the benefits of working in that way.
I would say the benefit for a company, there are a lot more to gain if they have reliable employees working remotely, because the employee will give them the time needed to do the job. And also for an employee, when you accept to work remotely, in fact, it's a sort of challenge because it demands of you to be very organized, structured, because you have a job to do. You can't just sit behind your desk and expect somebody to bring you something to do. No, it is, in fact, you are a mini company in a company, so you have to be organized in order to do your work. Proactive, that if somebody is looking for something, you already did it before you ask you.
Yeah.
So, and then it also gives you the freedom to schedule your own time, because you can start earlier and finish earlier, or you can start late as long as you do the job.
Mm.
And the I would say the downside might be that you are isolated, because then you are in the confinement of your own house and you don't have your colleague. But that can be arranged, and my manager did that very well, because we have on every 2 days we have a team meeting, and where we just chat for 30 minutes. We get together and then we chat, we tell whatever, if we have a story to talk about. Because in a group of 13 people, all spread in the world, I've never met most of my colleagues. So
Yeah,
the only way we could see each other is via Teams. Mhm. And that has been arranged. Mhm.
that's good. Yeah, so your employer is taking the initiative to
Exactly.
make sure
Mhm.
that nobody feels isolated. You
Yeah,
do get to know your
yeah,
colleagues. Yeah, and like you say,
absolutely.
it doesn't take much, does it? Just to
No,
put
yeah.
that in the diary and help
Mm,
everybody feel
mm,
that much more connected.
mm.
Yeah.
And we also have the privilege to go to the office twice a week. In Holland, it's a privilege because in Holland, it's not imposed because of the law yet. But we have been requested to go to the office so we can also meet other colleagues.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so you have also that flexibility. Mm,
Yes. Okay. So
mm.
you haven't been called to the office full time yet, then you're
No,
able
but
to.
I also have a contract, a hybrid contract, so I
Right.
will never be called full time.
Excellent. It's in black and white.
Yes, exactly. And
Um,
I think also for everybody, it's important to put things on the paper so every party knows what is expecting. Mm.
yeah.
I've started working remotely and then I really love it. And so far, I've provided my previous employer what they expected from me. So I don't want somebody to also take advantage of what I can give. Yeah. So.
Great. Thanks, Brigitte.
Mhm.
I like that point that you mentioned early on about the positive side of remote working, that it actually trains you to be more effective, more
Yeah,
organized, and
absolutely.
we're often more motivated to
Yeah.
make better use of our time because we know we can use it, how we choose, where
Yeah.
we choose.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's more motivating. It's true that
Mm.
you can often lose time in the office and think, well, it doesn't really matter anyway. I'm trapped. I
Yeah, I'm
can't go
here.
anywhere. So I might as well just take my time and get another coffee,
Yeah.
etc. So, yeah,
No, but I've noticed every time I go to the office, I will do ha- half of what I do when I'm at home.
incredible. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the distractions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your employer, he's been balanced. He's trying to overcome the the isolation that could
Yeah.
could occur. Can you think of any other negative sides of remote working that we need to consider?
Mm. I believe also for an employer, if he hires the wrong person, that the person may not do the job and you can't control because there's nobody around. And yeah. I'm so into that element. So for me, I only see the positive part of it because I can't see myself working in a company where I have to sit behind the desk with colleagues around me, the distractions. And when you're on the phone, you hear your colleagues on the phone.
Yeah.
And I miss the time where we had an office where you could close your office and have a conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
that was my age, but now we have open space.
Yes, yeah. It's
Yeah,
not that long ago, really, that
yeah,
the
and
offices were divided in that way.
exactly. And with open space, when you have a conversation, you really have to close one ear in order to understand your correspondent. Mm.
Yeah. No, I'm just like you, Brigitte. I've got used to the remote working from home advantages, the peace, the
Yeah,
lack of
the peace,
distractions.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah,
the ability to plan my own time
yeah.
without worrying about things being
I
disrupted.
totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent.
Mm,
Okay. So you mentioned just now about the wrong kind of person. If
mm-hmm,
an employer chooses the wrong kind of person to
mm-hmm,
work remotely, there
mm-hmm.
could be issues.
Yes, of course.
So I gathered from what you were saying, perhaps it's about being able to trust the person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what would you say are the character traits that make somebody the wrong kind of person for remote working, and the character traits that make somebody the right person for remote working?
I can't say, I don't have a black and white explanation of what the right kind of person is or the wrong kind of person.
Mm.
But I read a quote yesterday about old age, gray hair, and I thought about myself because they say gray hair they have experience, they have a slice of a kind of wisdom from the time that they have done things. And
Yeah,
I'm 60, so I can consider that I'm a kind of gray hair person. So my word is my word. So if I accept the job and I say I have to will do it, I will
yeah.
do it. So
Mm.
that's for me, that's what I can say about me. But about other people, I don't know.
Yeah,
I've
Bridget.
never worked in human resource, so I don't really know what the criteria they which kind of criteria they use in order to hire the right person or not.
Of course, of course.
Mm.
But you're talking about being trustworthy, and it's
Absolutely.
whether you're in the office or out of the office, it's important to be trustworthy. It's
Yes.
important to do what you said you were going to do,
What
keep
you signed for. Yeah.
promises, respect deadlines. That's
Hmm.
important if you're in the
Yeah.
office or out. But perhaps
Yeah.
it's even more important if you're out of sight as well, because it's not as easy for the boss to wander over to your desk
That's
and
true.
get an update and
Yeah.
maybe push somebody
Yeah.
in person.
Mm.
So yeah,
That's true.
trustworthiness, so, so important. And maturity, because it's true, it's something that comes with age, isn't it? Being
Yeah.
able to withstand stress
Yeah.
and push through the hard times to
Yeah.
make sure that you meet deadlines.
That's true. I was thinking about talking about stress because during the period of Christmas, many of my colleagues they were off,
Yeah.
and I ended up having to care for different territories,
Oh,
and it was a bit stressful when I was asked to do that. But uh, why don't let's try? My boss, she said we do it together, and then we will see if there is any problem. You can always call me, and then I will jump in.
oh, that's kind.
Yeah, but it went so fine because I also felt the responsibility of having to take care of those. So I had all these different posts, and then I checked everything I had to do. So I had my plan in the morning. I check this one, I check this one, I do the logging here, I do the logging there, and then I make sure that whoever came in got an answer. So I was very busy, but at the same time, it was also fulfilling.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
was like, a race where you finished your race and beautifully. So I liked it. Mm.
Yeah, I really like that, Brigitte. So instead of viewing extra work as something negative, you enjoyed the challenge.
Yes,
I guess you,
indeed,
yeah.
indeed.
you took the skills that you've already more than developed doing your own work and then able to apply it to others. Yeah.
Indeed.
And I think as a remote worker, it's good to be part of the team, even if you're not visible, to say,
Yeah,
yes, I can pick up your work. Just because you can't see me
absolutely.
at the other end of the office doesn't
Yeah,
mean I'm not there to be somebody who can support.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. And then I've also noticed with my colleagues, because often when they're looking for something, they will ask me while I'm one of the newest in the company. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So it just goes to show then the fact that you're not on site is not a disadvantage.
Absolutely not. It's not a
Yeah.
disadvantage. Yeah.
What's more important is the spirit that you bring,
Uh,
the fact that you're dependable,
yeah.
and that you're not afraid of a challenge.
No.
Great.
Mhm.
Thanks, Brigitte.
You're welcome.
So, as you know, this is the Remotely Interested podcast about remote working, work life in general, and top tips to successfully work from anywhere. So, you've already provided lots of interesting points that come under those categories, so that's excellent. Now we're going to reach for the Mosaic Gold plate for the surprise question. Yes,
Whoa.
it's not very high tech, I warn you, but here it
Okay.
is. Here it is.
Okay.
Random question.
Really? I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that. I will select and we'll learn some more from you, Brigitte. Okay, what do we have today? Ooh, Ooh, okay. What is the most unconventional piece of career advice that you've received?
Hmm. think I think we all do, because often we get advice from others in order to achieve something, and that advice could be something we didn't think about, or we might think that is not going to work. But when we trust our colleague and then we put that in practice, it happens to be working. So I think it's something that we come across quite often.
Yeah.
And yes, I have. I've received such advice. Yeah.
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 Something, I guess, yeah, if we want to progress
Mm-hmm.
as a colleague, as an employee, I think
Yeah.
you're right, Bridget. We have to be
Yeah.
consistently flexible to take on advice
Absolutely.
about
Absolutely.
things. Yeah. I'm
Mm.
thinking about how I would answer this question. And yeah, just like you, I can't think of anything specific.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
But it's true, sometimes it's a matter of using certain tools or using certain systems. We wouldn't necessarily have done it that way,
Yeah.
or speaking up and asking for help when you think, oh, no, surely I shouldn't have to ask, I should do it myself.
Mm.
Yeah. I'll never forget
Yeah.
actually one of my early jobs, just such a simple thing, but I still think about it today. She showed me how to delete something from the system. And she
Mhm.
says, we all make mistakes, so I'll let you know how to delete. And I remember thinking
Mhm.
that is so reassuring. And I still think about it today. I still think about it today that we all make mistakes. So it's okay, we can go back. Nobody goes to work and doesn't make a
Indeed.
mistake from time to time. So yeah,
Yeah, indeed.
excellent. Would you like another question, Brigitte?
Go ahead if it's not too complicated.
That was a weird one. Yeah, come on, I'll
Mm.
give you another
Mm.
question.
Okay.
Something a bit more fun, hopefully, this time.
I hope. I hope.
Yeah, let's see. This is a first for the Remotely Interested podcast. A second question. I hope our listeners are
Really?
okay with that. Yeah.
Ooh la la.
But Bridgette's
Uh,
great. So, oh, it's
uh,
kind of similar. Okay, let me know
okay.
what you think, Brigitte.
Uh-huh.
What's the most surprising piece of feedback that you've ever received, and how did it impact you?
No, we had a colleague who left the company because she started her own business as a baker. And then while we were talking, I was telling her how I find that thrilling that you will make the leap to do what you love and make it your career. And then a colleague of mine said, let's think about if we were all to go do something we like, And what would you like to do? She goes, I think you are a people person. It will be good for you to go out there and then to talk to people how to have a better life.
Oh, how lovely.
I was surprised because then I said, it's amazing you say that because I'm a Christian. I love to preach. So maybe I should take your advice and go out there and make it my profession. So it was a surprise piece of advice. I mean, I don't know if it was a piece of advice, but what she said was surprising from coming from her.
Sure.
But it ended up being something that I truly enjoy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that answered your question, but this is what came in my mind.
That's a really nice one because it is surprising, I guess, because essentially
Yeah.
she knows you in a professional context
And
and
then
you will have
we work
had,
remotely.
so she only knows you remotely, well, for the most part.
No, she knows me physically also because we've met in the office maybe 10 times.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
No.
That's not a lot, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's gleaned that
Mm.
from remote interactions with you.
Yeah.
And again, an example of the fact that it is possible to show your true self remotely. You know,
Yeah.
okay, it's a screen, okay, we're not in the same room, but you
But
you've managed
people
to convey
notice, yeah.
that.
People
Yeah.
see, people feel it also, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's nice. All right, two not easy questions, Brigitte. So,
Mm.
well, this has been a great chat. Thank you, Brigitte.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we've got a little insight into the kind of global work that you've done over the years. Really interesting. I think there's probably more to hear. But if anybody would like to contact you with a view maybe to working on a project together,
With pleasure.
or even just ask for some advice, where's the
With
best
pleasure.
place to contact you? Do you have an account?
I have a LinkedIn.
Oh, you have a LinkedIn profile.
Yes, I have a LinkedIn
Excellent.
profile.
Fantastic. Well, I will include that as part of the episode notes, and then
Good.
anybody can find your profile
Thank you.
and get some more information.
Yeah,
Brigitte, this has been lovely. Thank you so
it was
much.
a pleasure. Thank you very much, Mary.
Okay, and take care. See you soon.
Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.
Bye. Yet again, we saw how being away from an office environment can often assist with increasing productivity and could also offer the privacy required for important phone calls and deep work. We saw that a remote worker can genuinely offer valuable support to a team and can certainly be counted on during periods of increased activity or when other members of the team are on leave. And we learned that with a little bit of effort, it is indeed possible for a remote worker to convey their personality when interacting with others, to both get to know and to be well known by their remote team. So, if you're even remotely interested in remote working, I'll see you next time.